In this video, I'm going to set up Goose to work with the OpenAI LLMs via the Zuplo AI Gateway. And if you haven't heard of Goose before, it's a very cool AI agent and CLI that's made by the people over at Block. It's completely open source, runs locally. It will work with local LLMs if you want to. It also doesn't have any vendor lock-in, so you can use it with any LLM provider that you want. It's got a ton of functionality in terms of extensibility, great support for MCP. You can build recipes for all kinds of things to automate aspects of how it gets set up and things that it can do. You can use that personally, or you can work with it in a team scenario. Loads and loads of things that are possible using Goose, and it's great to work with. So I'm going to get it set up to work with OpenAI via the Zuplo AI Gateway. So let's jump into the command line and get that set up. So to do it, I need to run goose configure. What we're going to do is configure providers first of all, and we'll choose OpenAI as the provider of choice. And we need to specify an OpenAI API key. Now, it does have one already configured, but that's my personal one. I need to change it to the one that I'm going to use with the Zuplo AI Gateway. So if we jump over to Zuplo, we have a fresh AI Gateway set up ready to go here, and I've already got my providers set up. I have an Anthropic provider. I also have an OpenAI provider that I'm going to use for this with access to GPT-5, GPT-5 Nano, and GPT-4o. I'm going to set up an app for this, so we will create one called Goose, and it's going to live inside of Martin's team. We'll select our provider and the model we want to use, which in this case is going to be GPT-4o. I can set up policies here in terms of usage limits and thresholds if I want to, specify some kind of budget limitations or just warnings on budget or token usage if I want to. I'm going to leave that alone for right now and just go ahead and create that application. Once I've done that, I can grab the API key for the app, and that's what we're going to use as the value for OpenAI key right here. So I would like to change it, and I'm going to change it to this. I also need to change the host. Now, right now, this is going to point directly at the OpenAI API, but we need it to point at the Zuplo AI Gateway first of all. So we can get that right here. We have the URL for the gateway, and we're going to change this OpenAI host value to that. The base path is already configured. That's v1/chat completions, and we don't need to change that. So in this case, we'll say no. The default model that Goose selects for OpenAI is GPT-4o, and that's what we've given access to in terms of the app that we set up. So we don't need to change this either. So it's going to go ahead, check that configuration, and now it has been saved successfully. So now Goose is set up to work with the AI Gateway. So let's run it and see what we get. Actually, let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so we run it by entering Goose. Goose is running, so let's ask it something. Tell me some interesting facts about React 19. So it's going to go away and have a little think about that for a second. And whilst it does this, over here on the right hand side, what we'll do is we'll actually go and look at our app dashboard, because we will start to see the metric for this starting to stream in. So we can see the request that I just made and how much it cost and the token usage, time to first byte, a bunch of deep information that you can get into if you really want to. But if you're just looking for a high level, then you can go over to the overview here. And as you can see, we've already used 3 requests on this, 2,000 tokens, and we've spent some cents doing that as well. And obviously, if we had limitations set up on here, then we would see that in here as well. But right now, there aren't any, so it's just infinite. And back here, we can see that Goose has returned the interesting facts about React 19. So let's do something a little bit more engineering-like right now. Let's get it to create an OpenAPI document for a to-do list application, right? That's something that people might actually do. Create an open API document for a basic to-do list application. Okay, so again, it's going to go away and think about it. And of course, right here, we see the information changing in terms of the amount of requests that are being made and the cost. So now we're up to 4 requests. The amount of tokens has changed, and the cost overall has changed. We refresh it again now that that's completed, and we see that we've made 5 total requests, 4,000 tokens, and we've spent about 2 cents on our work so far. So there you go. That's how easy and quick it is to switch over to using Goose with OpenAI via the Zuplo AI Gateway to give yourself a whole bunch of additional information as to how that's all working, and also put in place some limits on top of how those LLMs are actually being used, both in terms of security and also access for your team if you're using it in a team scenario. But super quick to make the change, and as you can see, it just works.